Today we're on a little bit of a Scandinavian adventure, except we're not in Scandinavia. You see, Volvo has brought us to beautiful Banff, Alberta to drive their latest vehicles, and I can't think of a better place to do it. For the next few days, we'll be driving hundreds of kilometers through the beautiful mountains of British Columbia and Alberta in 3 new 2020 Volvos. The best thing about this area, there's no way to take a bad picture. The scenery is spectacular and the twisty mountain roads are such a pleasure to drive. Even though it seems like SUVs are dominating the roadways, a good alternative is the wagon, and Volvo has been serving up cool wagons for decades. For those that are wanting something a little more rugged, there's the V60 Cross Country. Powered by a 2-liter direct-injected turbo 4-cylinder with 250 horsepower and an 8-speed automatic. The V60 Cross Country features an enhanced suspension and provides 75mm or 3 inches more ground clearance and a wider track than the standard V60. Taking it up and down a rough ski mountain service road was effortless. There is an off-road mode with hill descent for those steep and loose situations, but I found comfort mode absolutely fine. The Cross Country was sure-footed with its all-wheel drive, and even when pushing it quite hard, I came close but never bottomed it out. I can't see the average buyer using this for everyday use needing any more off-road ability than what this provides. Earlier this year, I drove this car in Sweden in winter conditions, so this off-road experience was perfect to round out its capabilities. The ride is surprisingly plush, and the suspension really soaks up the harsh hits, so much so that you and your passengers could easily drive this off pavement for long periods without rattling your fillings out. Next up, we go 3-row with 2 different XC90s. The first is the T6 all-wheel drive R design, powered by a turbo and supercharged 2-liter 4-cylinder, putting out 316 horsepower. The ride is very quiet, the 8-speed auto shifts seamlessly, and it really drives light for a larger vehicle. When I say Volvo, you think safety, and the latest generation of Volvos all come with a whole host of safety features, advanced driving features as well. This has pilot assist, which is a semi-autonomous system. It's radar cruise control, but it also steers for you as well. Also, autonomous braking. I actually had an instance where I was coming up on a vehicle a little bit faster than I probably should have compared to how fast it was going, and the brakes actually came on autonomously, and the seatbelts pre-tension. It was pretty cool. It sucked you back, ready for an impact, so it's really going to minimize injury if you do get in that accident. Also new for 2020, they've added haptic feedback to the steering wheel, so if something disengages one of these systems. Also auto braking for the rear cross traffic alert, which is a great feature. Volvo has always been on the cutting edge of automotive safety, and this year marks the 60th anniversary of something pretty special.
60 years and 1 week. We left the factory with the very first safety belt, the 3-point belt, as we know of the safety belt today. So this very important safety innovation celebrates 60 years. Since the safety belt introduction, been very intense working with new innovations continuously, and we have a lot of things that's available in every car today. And we continue that track. So simply the issues that we are addressing more and more is of course the autonomous drive. But also from the occupant protection perspective, we focus even more on trying to address the differences between people. Computer modeling with crash testing it makes it possible for us to do a lot more testing. I mean, first we have, of course, the crash test dummies that are also replicates in the virtual environment. But in addition to that, we also have models of human bodies. So they're only virtual, of course, but you can have the whole skeleton and soft tissues. And we learn more every day about this. And when using them, we can really understand the interaction with the restraints and take great steps in doing real-world safety developments.
Vehicle safety has come a long ways, and Volvo is committed to making every vehicle as safe as possible. And they're not keeping it to themselves.
Recently launched an initiative called EVA, Equal Vehicles for All. It's a compilation of studies that we've done since way back to the 60s, 70s. And a lot of those studies are based on our real-world data and the data we get collected from crashes. We have had an accident research team ongoing since 1917 and done this collection, and it has been the foundation for us over all these years to understand the differences between people. That's equal vehicles for all, and also, of course, the progress over time. If we have addressed frontal impacts in 1 decade, you can see that the significance of side impact increases, and the evolution. So EVA is to highlight the importance of basing vehicle development in real-world data, and also to emphasize that people are different, crashes are different from each other and need to be addressed. Most of our crashworthiness studies we have placed online just to be downloaded. So it's possible to read the story about the safety belt development, to read the story over the years on the side impact developments, where we have 4 world first actually in side impact protection. So it is easy access and available for anyone to read.
The second XC90 is the Inscription T8 PHEV. It has an 87 horsepower electric motor as well as a 313 horsepower turbo and supercharged 2-liter. For 2020, all T8 models get a larger 11.6 kilowatt-hour battery, increasing its range by 14%, or about 32 kilometers more. Although it doesn't seem like a huge amount, these electric motors get the SUV to 60 miles an hour from a stop in about 5.5 seconds, and it qualifies for HOV lane and EV rebates in most jurisdictions. For 2020, all models get a different look. So you get a different front grille depending on what model you get. You get different chrome trims or different trim depending on what model you get, and different wheels. The R design gets new 20 and 22-inch wheels. We are in the T8 XC90 Inscription model. It gets either 20 or 21-inch wheels depending on what you want. It gets a crystal shift knob if you like that shiny bling. And one big change though is look at the back seat where we're sitting right now. There is only 2 seats in the second row. This is a 6-passenger configuration, very handy for people getting into that back. Also gives the second row passengers a little bit more room. The last vehicle on our Scandinavian Canadian adventure is the new XC60 engineered by Polestar. You'll know right away this isn't a regular XC60, with the huge 21-inch Polestar design wheels and akubono brakes. I love the subtle black chrome-tipped Polestar exhaust, and really the style has a sophisticated look. Like all the new Volvo interiors, it's pretty stunning in this new XC60. You have this metal trim around. I love the shape of everything. Leather stitching on the top. This one is equipped with the premium Bowers & Wilkins stereo. You have a digital dash behind the steering wheel. In the middle, you have your 9-inch Sensus infotainment screen. This is just like the new V60 Cross Country with the latest generation where it's 50% quicker. One thing I do notice though, it does have a backup camera and a 360 camera. However, you can't display both on at the same time. There's enough real estate there. I don't know why they don't do that, because most other manufacturers, when you put it in reverse, you can see both, and it's so much easier when you're driving. This is equipped with beautiful Napa leather seats, as you can see, and gold seat belts. That definitely signifies that you're driving something different. One other thing that I did notice though is there are USBs in the middle for the front, but in the back on all the vehicles that we drove today, there are no USBs. And I think in this day and age, that's kind of a no-no, especially when you're driving something like a 3-row like the XC90 and there's no USBs back there. And one of the biggest differences, of course, on this XC60 Polestar Engineered is the engine. Okay, so this is the 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo and supercharged engine. but it has the hybrid system, the PHEV system. So what you get with this version is 328 horsepower from the gasoline engine and 87 horsepower from the electric engine, and that's matched to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Total output, 415 horsepower. That's pretty incredible for a 4-cylinder engine, seriously. So when you drive it, you can drive it like an everyday car, you can drive it with a hybrid, but if you go into your drive modes here, there's something quite special here. You have all-wheel drive, you have pure for eco-drive, hybrid for everyday use, off-road, and you have a Polestar Engineered. Once we put it into that, it's going to enhance everything. All the envelopes are opened up, and you really, really do feel all that torque. By the way, the torque is almost 500 pound-feet of torque. So lots and lots of get up and go. And the brakes, and these brakes are different now. They've went to a vacuumless brake-by-wire. So what does that all mean? It just means that the transition from regenerative braking and conventional braking has really been smoothed out. When you put the brakes on, you really can't tell you're generating electricity. It feels very much like a conventional brake. But whether you're on these beautiful roads in Alberta or just in the city, the torque is so noticeable, it's effortless. You just barely touch that pedal and you are up and going with ease. If you're into all-out numbers and performance numbers, the 0 to 60 on this is 4.9 seconds. And one vehicle they've kind of benchmarked this vehicle after is the Audi SQ5. And yes, that is quicker than the Audi.
Very good.
Go the other way.
Got it.
Now, one thing about the handling of this new Polestar Engineered XC60, it has, it's got a radio in it, but it also has Öhlins suspension and it's adjustable. This test XC60's Öhlins suspension is set right now at the factory default and it's pretty near perfect. Turn it in sharp at higher speeds, the XC remains very flat with minimal body roll and every input is followed to a T. It creates a very confident, spirited drive when pushed, yet on-road, the shocks are progressive, providing a comfortable ride. And of course, we talked about the 0 to 60. Well, how about a quarter-mile run on active runway? Now, this vehicle has made a few passes already, quite a few actually, so the battery has been depleted, so you're not gonna get as much of a launch off from that big, huge charge, but let's see what we can do. Here we go, and to the floor. We are at 100K now, and we will be crossing the quarter now. Okay, hard on the brakes. Very impressive, especially that suspension. There really is a Volvo fit for everyone, whether you're an adventure seeker and want something like this new V60 cross country, or maybe you're a performance enthusiast and you want to try out that XC60 engineered by Polestar, or you need to move a whole bunch of people around in comfort and style with that XC90 inscription. I really like what Volvo is doing these days, not in just the design, but their continued innovation in safety as well. And we really can't wait to see what they have in store next. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up, and if you want to see more everyday reviews, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.